Hi, I'm Simone Passoni. I am driver for SimRC and test driver and coach for Coach Dave Academy. And today we will be having a look at the new iRacing track, Auto Club Speedway, where week 10 of PCC Production Car Challenge will be taking place. And we will also be taking a look at how what's the difference in between the three cars we are covering. So those will be the MX-5, the GR86, and the M2 CS, just to see how different they are in the track, how they drive. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, perfect. So with the MX-5, as you can see, I'm already taking a very tight line under the apron. You can do it in quali. I would say that in race condition, where likely this will be like Daytona, you will be packed and in a line full of Mazdas. So I will not be riding the apron. But as you can see also from the hot lap here, I'm taking advantage of it. I can ride over the white line of the apron for the full length of the oval, which we will see. In quali, this will gain us about a tenth, but it will be very dangerous during race condition, let's say. So as you can see here, I'm just using the full apron. In race, likely will be bump drafting each other, just like in Daytona, so I would not advise to ride the apron. And when the oval finishes, let's say the marker for me to go closer to the wall to prepare for the next corner is actually the blue cone. So as I see the blue cone, I will just position myself a little bit closer to the wall. There will be a very hard braking into a left-hander. So as you can see, let's say after like this is the marker for me on the wall when the wall changes. Actually, if you also use the delta on the screen, you can also use the delta. It's a little bit of a trick, but when the delta changes the sector, or when you actually get to this pole, actually, so this is the first pole when the wall changes, you can use that as a brake marker. And you need to brake somewhat very hard to be at this point, because you are almost doing 200 kph, and you will be aiming not for the first cone, but actually for the second cone. And in this track, the track limits and the way you can abuse the cones it's quite unique, because you can literally run over the cones without taking any penalties, but you need to be very careful because the cones can be stuck underneath the car, so you will lose a lot of time. So it's actually okay to touch both cones, you will not incur into any penalty, but you need to be aiming not for the first one, and you need to aim for a late apex on the second cone. Otherwise, if you cut too much on the first one, it will be a penalty. So if you see here, you can actually hear maybe that I can touch the cone just a little bit, and you can also see it on this point. Like the first one is gone already. It's right beneath my like on the side of my bumper. I just scraped it, and the reason why we want to take it very tight on this and take a late apex is because we need to prepare for another very tight corner on the right. So we want to stay on the left as much as possible. To have more time to prepare for the right-hander, which will come, which will be again, it's very tight, and you need to ride the curb. So as you see, I'm downshifting to first, also to gain a little bit more rotation, and I am taking the curb fully, full commitment over the curb, and I will try to maximize the exit also using the outside curb. One note: you can take the full curb on the outside, and you can touch a tiny bit of grass on your way out, but if you take too much grass, it will be an off track. So that's worth to keep in mind. Moving on to the next corner, I usually use this patch of tarmac as my brake marker. Right as I go beyond the brake marker, the tarmac patch, I will brake. Not so much in this corner. You need to take it like you need to take advantage of the fact that the car usually, like the MX-5, likes to be to oversteer a little bit, and this is like a very long 180 corner, and you don't want to brake too much, and you don't want to take it too tight because you don't want to kill the momentum of the car. So as you can see, I'm taking a little bit wider compared to the part of the tarmac which is darker. So I clip the curb, I brake. You can see my wheel is completely straight. I do not brake and turn in the same moment with this in this particular corner. I just brake tighter, just like doing almost a V shape. So I'm trying to V shape in the corner and take it as wide as I can, in order to aim for the second curb, so the second left-hander. And you can see that you can go very wide on the outside without taking an off track. This is to kill the least speed possible in the car. You need to keep a lot of momentum in order not to lose too much time, because there will be a long straight ahead. And this is not going to be an off track. So again, a very big straight here, then there is a chicane. You cannot cut it too much. You can clip the grass a little bit. It's pretty straightforward. You cannot cut more than that, otherwise you will get an off track. And coming to the next corner, it's a very, very long, late right-hander, and it's also very bumpy. You will see it. And you need to be very careful with the brakes, because if you brake too much, also deep down in the corner, the bumps will unsettle the car quite a lot. So you need to do the most of the braking before the apex, and then you will just throw in the car like this. I use these markers. I use the last, actually the last on the left, the last cone on the left. So in between, also like these cones here, this is basically your marker to start braking. And you can see I'm taking it a little bit wide, and then I'm going late on the apex here on the right hand side. You can see I'm not going tight, otherwise it will be too much steering on the exit. So I will try to brake on the straight as much as I can on a straight line. Actually, the car here the back of the car wants to snap a little bit, so I'm counter steering. I used first gear to gain more rotation, and then I'm going on the throttle as soon as I hit the apex here. So I used the first gear to gain a little bit more rotation, and then I stop on the accelerator on the way out. so that I can take full advantage of the corner exit. You can take the curb here, it's no problem. And it's actually very, if you see it at speed, it's very bumpy here. It doesn't unsettle the car too much, and not, at least not the MX-5. So, but it's very important to take the very late apex. Again, here another chicane. Here you can, especially in a quali, let's say in a quali lap, you can gain, let's say, I don't want to say a tenth, but maybe a little bit less than a tenth in this part of the track. If you take it properly, you can actually touch the first cone on the right, like I'm doing, and you can put two wheels in between, you know, the white line on the left, but you cannot really go too much more than this. Otherwise, it will be an off track, and I'm pretty sure also a slowdown. So this you need to be, you need to feel for it, but it's not a big deal if you do not go, like if you not commit, especially for this part. It will not be a big loss, but you need to be mindful that here you can take an off track or a slowdown pretty easily. And again, here we go a straight line, again all of speed, and this part is very tricky because there are no brake markers, so you need to make your own. I usually use, let me see. I usually use, let's say, when I'm placed in between the container, the blue container on the left, and this marker on the right for me. So when my car is, let's say, in the middle, in between these two markers that I just made, I will just brake quite hard because there will be a very long chicane on the right side. So full on the brakes, and I just ride on the curbs, right and left. And I need to make an explanation here. With the MX-5 is pretty easy, this part, in my opinion, because the MX-5 can take the curbs really well. So really hard on the brakes, and don't worry about slowing down a lot the car. As long as you can keep these two curbs comfortably, you need to take it, let's say, as straight as you can. As you can see here, it's almost like I'm doing a straight line in between. And you need, the only thing you need to be mindful of is that you need to have at least some speed to clear the gap in between the curbs. Like if your tire, like if your front tire fall in between, of course the car will be unsettled, and you will not get the most out of it during the corner. So as long as you have enough angle and enough speed to clear the gap, this will be absolutely fine. There is a lot of margin for this with the MX-5. So again, one, and then I set up myself for the second one. I don't want to go too deeper into the curb because it's a lot more wider compared to the first one. So I have, let's say, more gap to clear. So I will just keep in mind, I don't want to fall into it. I will just basically ride it, and I take advantage, and I will go fully on the outside. This is because I want to keep momentum. I cannot slow down too much. So naturally for me in this corner, it's okay for me to go as wide as I can in this part of the corner. And actually the speed in MX-5 is not that, there is not so much speed, especially in this part of the track. So even though I go up, let's say, a little bit wide in this part, it's okay to prepare also for the next corner. It will be different in the other cars, and we will see it. So again, we need to be set up for this part of the track in order to do the last corners properly. It's very important to do the last corners properly because there is long straight ahead, and also we are going into the oval. So what's important about this corner is that you need to be as much as you can be on the right side of the track. You can take this curb. You don't want to take too much of it, because if you take too much of it, the car can be maybe too much unsettled when you try to prepare and stay on the right side. I take a bit of it. It's okay. You can see that I'm very far on the right before start turning in, and this corner can be very tricky because the track is delimited by cones fully. As I said in the beginning, you can take advantage of, you can abuse on the cones, but you need to be very mindful of not to strike them too hard, otherwise they can get stuck. So again, I set myself up, stay on the right, then touch of brake, you can see it. It's like 40% brake, just a touch to shift the weight and to prepare the car for the corner. I don't use too much steering wheel because I just touch the brake just a little bit, and then I actually aim for the inside cones, but I don't want to cut across them. If you see, I just like slightly bruise them. And on the outside, you can see this is basically you can take basically the line. The white line here is basically the track limit, which is also like the cone line. You can take down these cones, not too much. These cones are going to be the ones that likely, if you strike them coming out of this corner like this, there is a high chance that they will get stuck underneath, and you will notice. So you need to be very careful. It's okay, and you need to, especially in a quali lap, you need to take the risk, take the cone. You can actually hear me taking down one cone, and but you need to know that you can take them down, but you don't need to go like beyond the white line. Otherwise, for sure you will get one cone stuck underneath the car, and it will be most likely an off track. Why is it important to take this corner in this way? Is because, as I said, we do not want to kill the momentum of the car, and there is a big straight, big oval coming up, so we need to build up the more speed we can. So again, at full speed, and this is basically the last corner, and it's a bit let's say it's a bit tricky. For the Mazda, it's very simple because, as I said, the car doesn't really mind going riding over the curbs. There is just one note, very important note related to track limits. You don't want to go like very close to the cone and cutting the curb inside the curb, because that's going to be a slowdown. But you can aim, let's say you can aim for the top of the curb, and you can actually jump on it like so. If you go like this, is, I would say, on the limit. There is no point, like you can go full throttle in this point. There is no point in like trying to lift a bit to get more rotation and go more deeper in the curb. Just go full throttle, take the curb, and you take it again on the way out. And this is very easy with the Mazda, so we can see it full speed. And as you can see, we took the most out of the car. We didn't lose any momentum, so we'll just get to the start finish line, and this is a lap around Auto Club with the MX-5. So with the GR86, it's the oval part is not a big of a deal. Again, it's just a little bit different, especially like in quali, you can avoid staying on the apron, and you can stay like in between this line here and of course the white line, not the apron. The only important bit, especially for quali, is that you know, the GR86 doesn't really like the temperature of the oil goes skyrocketing all the time, and especially in a track like this where you are flat out most of the time. In quali, in case you mess up your first lap, just take it easy and keep your RPMs low until you start the second lap, so you will not heat the oil too much. I know it doesn't sound like doing too much, but like if you are finding yourself lapping in this track alone, you will find that you will be losing quite a lot on the oval part only just by lapping, because the oil temp gets crazy. So for the race, of course, it's not a problem. You will probably be in the draft. But in quali, in case you mess up at least lap one, just take it easy until you start the second lap, so that you don't raise the oil temp too much. Then the oval is basically the same. I use the same markers as the MX-5, so whenever I find the blue cone here, I will just straighten the wheel and move to the wall. And again, compared to the MX-5, I take the same references, so it will be the change of the wall color and the first pole, maybe a little bit sooner than that, because I'm actually coming a little bit faster than the MX-5. But the idea of the corner is then the same: hard braking into the left-hander, aiming for the second cone, and the difference will be in the right-hander. After that, we will see why. So again, very hard braking, almost max. Then I aim for the second corner, stay on the left, and then on the curb, full commitment. The difference is that the GR86 doesn't really like the curbs. Actually, the front of the GR86 is really soft. No matter how you set it up, it's really soft. So hard braking will like nosedive the car a lot. The car will also bounce a lot on the curbs, so you need to be very careful on how you approach the curbs and take them. You need to be very sure that you can clear this gap when you go over it. Otherwise, the car will bounce just too much. So let's see from the outside how it looks. So let's change the camera to the outside camera, and let's face it the other way around. So you can see that I'm clearing the gap fully. If for whatever reason you are like the car drops within the gap, you will get a lot of bouncing because you are getting, you're striking against the curb again. So this will unsettle the car quite a lot. And when the GR86 start bouncing, it's pretty much uncontrollable. So you cannot get the most out of the corner. So in this case, it's very important that you clear the gap. Also, coming into, you can see also how squeezed is the dampers in this corner. It's because I go like very hard on the brakes, and you need to be very careful when you release it, because if you are braking so much, also close to the apex, so when the car is almost come to a stop, the car will start bouncing. Don't be afraid to downshift later. You don't want to unsettle the car by shifting quite aggressively. It's okay to wait a little bit, and but this is very important whenever it comes to a very hard braking point, and there are many of it in this corner with the GR86. The trail braking is very important, because otherwise the car will also start bouncing. Like the rear wheels will start lifting because of the compression the car has when you stomp on the brakes. So again, clearing this section, clearing the curb. Like the MX-5, you can take the curb on the exit. There will be, again, the off-track if you take too much of the grass. Brake marker for this part is the same as the GR86, and also the concept of the corner. It will be a very long 180 corner. You will try to V-shape it. The most important part here is not how you let it flow through the corner, but it's how you brake, because you need to brake hard, but not too much, so that the car has enough rotation and doesn't start bouncing because of the hard braking. So we'll brake in a straight line, we will trail brake, and then we will aim for the second curb, and we take all the way out. So you can see that I'm braking hard, like 65-70% peak. And then as soon as I'm entering the corner, right before clipping the curb, I'm already start to ease my way off the brake, and I start gently applying throttle. I don't want to be too aggressive with the throttle, because compared to the MX-5, this car doesn't really oversteer too much. There is a lot of grip. So if you go on throttle, full throttle too soon, it will be just understeer quite a lot. And we want to be very careful, so in this part, to ease our way on the throttle, like in the middle of the corner, and then when the car gains the right amount of traction, we just fully send it. We clip the curb on the inside, and we let it go on the outside. There is no off track here again. So straight line here, again, same chicane, no need to cut it too much. And this is where it gets tricky with the GR86, just because what I said earlier about the braking. So we need to brake hard, because we come to a point at 170 kph. And we need to give hard brake, because the corner is a long corner, slow corner, and late apex as well. And there is a little bit of like the downhill, just lightly after the apex, and the car, the track is bouncy. So the track is very rough. The car will start to bounce, and you need to be careful also with downshift. At this point, you don't want to upset the car at all, and you want to make the most of the braking before the apex, and you otherwise you will the car will be quite upset, because it would start bouncing. So again, my markers, we are coming here almost at the same speed as the MX-5, so the marker is always in between these cones. Very hard braking, keeping the wheel straight. So as soon as I want to release brake pressure, I also start to turn in with the wheel. And I use at the last part of the corner, before hitting the apex, I start to downshift to gain some rotation. And you can see at the point here where I give basically the maximum angle of steering, I am on no brakes, basically, because I don't want the car to go, it will basically just understeer even more if we are coming to the apex on brakes. It's a very hard corner for this car. It doesn't really like it. So you need to do the most of the braking before hitting the apex, of course. And the exit will be the same as the Mazda. So as soon as you clear the apex, you can straighten the wheel as fast as possible and go full throttle. And you can take advantage of the curb on the outside. So at speed, it will look something like this. So hard braking. So downshift, and I will ease my way out, making sure that I'm not applying brakes while I'm hitting the apex. This part, again, same as the MX-5, just don't be too greedy with cutting in between the lines. You can take the cone as I did, but you don't want to be fully on the left while you are exiting that little chicane. You don't want to be too much on the inside of the white line. Here, same as the MX-5, the braking zone for me is between this container on the left and this part on the right side. So it's a matter of feeling. Maybe it depends on your FOV. It will be different, but you will get a feel for it. And hard braking, very hard braking on a straight line. It's very important with the MX-5, with the GR86. That you are braking the most with the complete straight wheel. You don't want to give any angle. And here is where it gets interesting. As I said, and as you probably know, the GR86 doesn't really like taking curbs. We need to take two in a row here, and it's very important the way we set up. There are actually two ways. If you are confident enough and you have enough speed, you can take it almost like the MX-5, so you basically try to cut straight. If you do have enough speed, you are basically able to clear the gaps if you do not have enough speed, you can delay a little bit the turn in, so you don't you need to take the curb still, but you will not be jumping, let's say, as high as like taking it the way I do it now. So let's see it at speed 1, 2, and you go on the outside. It's really important to have enough speed to do this. Otherwise, as you like at the end of the corner, like on the exit here, I almost did, like I was too greedy, and I went actually too much deep into it, and you can see that I took it, and luckily the car did not bounce that much, and I was able to straighten the wheel. That's very important. Straighten the wheel as soon as possible to avoid unsettling the car even more when it lands. So best recommendation is that you need to build up your confidence in between this chicane with this car, because it's very important the way you take the curbs. We can see also from the outside what I mean by that. And the first one, I clear it, like I'm not landing in between, like I'm not touching the curb anymore from the beginning. So I completely cleared it over here. But if we look at the second one, you see that I'm clipping like the middle, and the car bounces again. So this is because I was full commitment, full speed, and I wanted to extract the most, and I got away with it. But it's very tricky to do. It's something that maybe in a race you don't need to take that much risks, because this second bounce here will unsettle the car quite a lot. You might want to get if you want to do it, you might want to know that again with the MX-5 I went fully on the outside. You can do it as well in the GR86. You will do it anyway, so you know that you have this part of the track, let's say, to compensate in case it bounces. Just don't panic. Don't try to get the car like on the inside as much as possible. Just let it flow and straighten the wheel slowly to get the advantage of the outside and the fact that the car is not very narrow at this point. So just don't be too aggressive if you don't feel it. But just in case you maybe mess up in this corner specifically, you know that you have this part of the track that you can take advantage of to try to calm down the car a little bit. And again, ideally, even if you just to complete this part, ideally, even if you don't clip the curb in a way that I did it, so I didn't settle a bit the car, if you clear it normally, you can still take full advantage of the outside, so that you don't stress your fronts trying to use to stick to the left side of the track where there is no need to, because also when coming into the last part of the track here, it's okay to stay on the right side. We are not coming to this part of the track with a lot of speed, so we have time to adjust. The difference will be if you are quite a lot on the right, like I am at the moment, on this part of the track, you know that the right-hander coming after this one, it will be a little bit more tricky because we will need to take more of the curb, and the car doesn't really like it. So if you can just avoid to stay completely on the right, it's beneficial for the next corner, because you will have to make you will have the possibility to make this corner easily. In my case, I was fully committed, so I took the curb. I made sure that I cleared it. So if you can see, I'm still like I'm taking the curb, but I'm still aiming. You can see also with the wheel, I'm aiming still for this right side because I want to be on as much on the right as I can be. It's very important to clear this curb fully. Otherwise, again, you get a lot of bouncing. You cannot prepare the corner on the left side, on the right side, as you would like. In this case, I cleared it. I stood on the right side as I wanted, and then touch of brakes. You can see just touch to prepare the car, like to shift the weight of the car a little bit more in front and gain some grip on the front tires, and gain some grip. And again, just like the MX-5 is completely the same. I just aim for these two cones on the inside, making sure that I do not cut too much across it, and I will let the car go on the outside, and making sure I do not fully take down all those cones, because these will get easily stuck on the car as well. The only major difference here is not this corner, because this is, let's say, quite similar compared to the MX-5. It's the last corner. The last corner, you need to approach it in the same way as the MX-5, so you don't want to be too close to the cone. You can aim for the tip of the curb. You need to be mindful, though, that again this car bounces quite a lot. We can see it at speed. It bounces quite a lot, but you must take this line, otherwise you will go too much on the outside. You will understeer onto the oval, and there is actually some risk that you will, like, I don't want to say that there is the risk to go right on the oval, but you will lose a lot of time and a lot of speed by inducing understeer, not taking this line. So you need to be very confident here. You need to take the first, and then you need to be going straight to the let's say to the second part of the corner. You need to again hit the curb, and you can cut as much as I did. So it's completely fine from an iRacing point of view. You will not get any off track by doing this. We can also see from the outside, it's quite a lot of cutting, and you can see that basically the car is completely in the white line. But like, you see how unsettled the car gets with you when you get to this point of the track. You basically see the car bounces a lot, but you need to fully commit to both curbs. Actually, it's the same curb, but you need to commit it on it twice. But it's very important that you don't, like, especially in this part, like, I still clear the full curb. I don't want to cut too much to avoid that I land like in this zone. That will unsettle the car quite a lot. So I make sure that at least I clear the first one, and it's easier to be done if you let's say, if you try to go a little bit, let's say, in a rounded way, instead of trying to go fully straight in between the cone and the curb. So you can maybe like go a little bit like wanted to go around the cone, but still in between the cone and the curb. So in this way, you will basically make sure that you will land in this zone. And if you keep the same degree of steering angle, you will just basically clear the corner in one go. And yeah, I mean, that's a lap around Auto Club with the GR86. You can stay below the apron until the start-finish line. And yeah, let's move on to the M2. Okay, so now on to the M2, completely different car compared to the GR86 and the MX-5. Lots of speed, not so much downforce, and the tires aren't really grippy. And this shows already in the oval. So my lap was actually done. I think it was first lap of the stint, and there will be it will be different as you proceed through the stints, as the tire gets up to temp. You will be able to get the oval done in, let's say, in a more easy way. In the first laps where the tires are cold, you need to take the oval in a bit of a different way, and we will see what I mean by that. So again, lots of speed compared to the other cars. We're already doing 230 plus. As you can see, I'm almost in the middle, and it's like I'm aiming for, let's say, an apex that is like, it's basically I'm just wanting to go from the middle to the white line, just like if it was an apex. And then I don't want to stick close to the white line. I want to straighten the wheel way sooner compared to the other cars, because if I were to keep the wheel turned to stay very close to the white line, the car will just break traction and want to oversteer, and especially in lap 1-2, so that's going to be for quali. And in the beginning of the race, this will be very hard. You will not be able to stick all the way to the white line. You will actually need to take the corner in this way. So you will need to start from the middle and then ease your way in. Just touch not for so long. Let's say when you have this auto club and the screen, you can start aiming, not like aiming, but you can ease your way out of the oval way sooner. You don't want to be abrupt with your wheel inputs. The car will be very upset if you moved a lot the wheel in the oval. You need to be very clean and very precise. So you can start straightening up the wheel onto the exit, and here the marker compared, of course, to the MX-5 and the GR86 will be a lot sooner. First, because the car doesn't really brake too much. You cannot stomp on the brakes a lot, because if you kick in the ABS, the car will not stop at all. So you need to be braking earlier for sure, because also the speed, we are coming about 30 kph faster than the GR86, but also because the braking capabilities of this car are not the best. So what I'm doing usually is aiming just a car length before the actual change of this wall coloring here. So a car length between here, and I start braking. As you can see, I'm not braking as much as the GR86. Is like 75% maximum. Straight line, of course. I'm not starting to turn in yet. The concept of the corner is still the same, so there will be 2 cones, and I will be always aiming for the second cone, so it will be a late apex. So again, doing much of the cornering, much of the braking on a straight line, then I trail brake and aim for the late apex here. And it's the same concept of the other cars. As you can see, there is a lot of understeer. The tires aren't quite up to temperature yet, but generally the car has a lot of understeer. I want to stick on the left side as much as I can before jumping onto the right-hand side curb. Also the M2 doesn't really like the curbs. Car really likes to bounce a lot. No matter which is your spring setting, it will bounce quite a lot. So we must make sure that we have enough preparation of this corner and speed to clear the gap of the curb. Otherwise, the car will just start bouncing. So late apex, stay on the left side, full commitment over the curb. So you have 2 ways to make this corner. If you do it properly, if you set it up properly on your way out of the first corner on the left, so if you're enough on the right, you don't really have to go too deep into the curb. You can like stick a little bit more. You can like grasp it a little bit. You don't need to be fully committed on the inside of the curb. Also, because what matters the most in this car is not only the front, like the front springs for the GR86. For the M2, it will be also like the rear of the car. If you take a big strike on the rear, the car will just start bouncing, and you will completely lose control. If you see, I still get it a bit, but I'm slightly touching it. if you take something like if you take more like if you go more on the inside on this curb and you strike completely the rear tires into the curb, the car will just start bouncing and you will not get it to, you will not have a better traction, of course, on the exit, but you will also have a hard time fighting counters, like countersteering a lot, trying to fight this brake, this traction brake that you have because you strike the curb on with the rears. So my advice is not go full commitment, like not full on the inside on the curb compared to the other cars. You might just want to stay a little bit more on the left. Let's see from the cockpit what I mean by that. Like you can see that I'm not fully into the curb. I'm just taking it slightly less compared to the others. And also another important bit is that it's okay here if you're not really fast. You can see that here I'm still slowing down. So I did the first corner on the left, then I'm still slowing down because first I want to gain more weight on the front to be able to make this change in between left and right. And also because I need to still slow down a bit, otherwise I will get a lot of understeer on exit. And I will not be able to aim also for the curb the way I wanted to. So it's okay to still slow down the car a bit in between these two corners, so to set up in a better way the exit. And this is very important because there is a straight line coming, and you will be, do not do it properly, you will for sure be vulnerable for overtakes. So again, at speed, late apex, stay on the right, tap of brakes, a little bit of curb, and then we take advantage of the full track. We go a little bit over the curb. For this corner, actually, the speed is, I don't want to say almost the same because we are coming, of course, faster compared to the MX-5 and the GR86. So we will brake as soon as this patch of tarmac ends. We'll start braking. And it's hard braking, it's very short brake, but hard while you keep the wheel straight. Then, of course, trail braking. And we want to keep it tighter and take advantage of the high gearing. It's usually, like in this corner, it's for sure third gear. You could use second, but you will likely break traction a lot if you go full throttle. So you can take advantage of the third gear, low RPMs. You will not break traction. So you can trail brake up until the middle of the corner. You can use as a reference the darker part of the tarmac as your limit for how wide you can go. And when you are in the middle of the corner, you are aiming again for the second curb. You can go almost full throttle in third gear, but there is no need, as for the other two cars, to go very wide here, because you will be actually doing more of a very like V-shape, actual V-shape with this car, because you are breaking down a lot more in the middle of the corner. So you can then take when you will be basically going on throttle, the car will be much more sharper to close the corner with the back before gaining traction. Like with the MX-5, you basically get a little bit of oversteer, and you would want to go fully on the outside, not to slow down the car too much. GR86, almost the same. Here we want to basically do the most with the braking. So we come to a stop almost to the middle of the corner, then we start using the throttle as a way to complete basically the rotation, and then we are basically more straight compared to the other two cars, and we have a lot of traction at this point, so we can go full throttle, but there is no need for us to take advantage of the outside. So again, straight here, this is very tricky actually, because we are coming very fast, and the track is bumpy quite a lot. Also already here, you will feel it a lot with the M2 compared to the other two cars. So it's very important how you take this chicane, because it's basically your preparation for the very long and slow right-hander that there is after this part. It's very important because if you do not take it properly, the car will be not like, it will be unsettled a bit, and you cannot aim for the perfect let's say, braking point. Also, the cones will arrive very fast, as we will see. So let's say a speed. So you can see the car is already like bumping around, and we must brake earlier than, of course, the other two cars. First, because we also arrive much faster, but also because, as I said, the braking capabilities of this car are not quite the best. So you can see that all the way through here it's quite bumpy. So the best will be to take it as straight as possible. If you turn the wheel too much, you might get caught, like you might have too much bumps coming through the wheel. So if the wheel is not properly straight, you might overreact too much to the bumpings, and you cannot set the car properly coming here, because basically here I'm still like coming out of the chicane, and I also, like, as soon as I'm out, I need to brake. So I'm off the throttle and I start braking as soon as I get out of the chicane. This comes really fast compared to the other two cars. You need to set this up properly, so you don't need to make like a wide movement with the wheel. So it's just a matter to prepare it as straight as you can. You can see I'm trying to straighten it the most I can, so that I don't have to move the wheel before braking. Otherwise it will be like a big mess. And I will aim for the outside here already. I don't have the time literally to try to make it to aim for more on the outside compared to the other cars, because this just comes really fast and the car doesn't really allow you to prepare this corner early enough. So you want to basically start, I would say, 3 car lengths before this line, start braking. Not so hard, as you can see also from here. It's maximum like 60-65%. Too much brakes, kicking in the ABS, the car will not stop. It must be a very steady brake. As you can see, it's very steady. And then as soon as we arrive to the apex, this will allow basically not to, if you have too much brake pressure, you will not be able to have enough rotation to come to this late apex. We want to keep the third gear for this corner. It's okay. We will have plenty of traction coming out of the corner, but the most important part is basically this straight line braking here. We do, then we ease off just a tiny bit before coming to the apex. Then we use the brake just slightly to stick the car to the curb to complete the corner. It's basically the same as the 180 corner we did. There is no point where I'm not doing like a little bit of crossing with the brake and the throttle. I still use the brake just a tiny bit to keep the front loaded and to gain that rotation that this car doesn't really have at the front. So it's very important to trail brake in this corner, also because it's very bumpy. So you don't want to brake too much and go too aggressive on the front to load too much. But you still want to trail brake a little bit more compared to the other two cars, so that you keep that weight on the front and you can stick to the curb, and then you can go full throttle on third gear to exit. So again, at speed, hard braking, you trail brake, and you take the apex, you just touch the brake a little bit on the apex, and then full throttle on the outside. Again, here you can take a little bit of the cone and you can go in between the white line, not so much, otherwise again off track and or slow down if you take it too much. Here is different. It's different compared to the other two cars, of course, because we are way faster in the M2. So what they do is usually when the pillar of the car here basically comes to the last container, the one with the auto club writing on it, I start braking. Not so much again, I don't want to trigger the ABS, so it's 70-75% at maximum. And here is, let's say, a little bit of a tricky part. Again, with the GR86 is the same as the M2. We do not want to take too much the curbs, because the car will be quite a lot unsettled. If you do not take them properly, they do not really like it. So we don't want to fully commit on the inside of the curb, we just want to slightly touch it. And it's okay, we will not be as fast doing this, let's say, wider corner, like a wider way to do the corner. So we just slightly touch them because we do not want to unsettle the car. We have to make a left and a right after that. We need all the four wheels to be on the tarmac, of course. If we are going basically on the air here and starts bouncing, we do not have literally the time to prepare the corner because the car is not ready yet. So we want to take advantage of the curb, but not so much. So we just slightly touch it. And again, this goes for the second one. And you can see that this way, compared to the other two cars, makes the exit of the corner slightly different, because we are not basically going fully on the curb. We are not basically aiming for the outside of the corner. As we are just slightly touching the curbs, we are taking a more rounded way to do the corner. So we are basically able to do a tighter exit, and this is more important with the M2 because as there is not so much grip on the front, this will basically set up the car better for the corners to come. So at speed, this is something like this. So slightly touch of the curbs, left side, slight touch, and we are more on the inside compared to the other two cars. This is very important. So from the outside, just to have a look at how the car is behaving on these corners, over these curbs. So basically a tiny bit. I'm almost not jumping all the way, like I'm still touching with at least one wheel the curb. So I'm not flying into the air and not taking it too much. And this will be even less on the other side for the coming one. So we will be able to see it. So the car, as you can see, is not bouncing too much. And we are ready to steer onto the next corner, and I'm just slightly touching it. If you were to take more, then you will need to take advantage of the outside, because if you take it and the car starts bouncing on the exit of this corner, you cannot make it as tight as this. You want to take advantage of the outside to try to correct the steering wheel and try to unsettle the car. Not to unsettle the car, but to get the car properly on the ground, stop bouncing it. But going on the outside on this corner will affect quite a lot the way you prepare the next right-hander. So for the next right-hander, best positioning is this tight, even tighter if you can, but tighter means you probably took the exit of this one too slow. So I would say middle of the track is okay. You'd slightly touch the curb. You need to, because as I said, also for the other two cars, you want to stick to the right as much as possible. This will get you a better preparation for the last corner on the left. So it's very important that you take a little bit of this curb, not so much, but so that you are on the most as right as you can be. So almost basically on the white line, you just take a tiny bit. You do not need to take it very soon. You can aim for basically the very middle of it, like this part here. So if you take it too soon, of course the car will start bouncing. But if you take it here, it's almost like the curves you saw earlier. You will not unsettle the car too much, and you will be able to stay as on the right as you can be. Here, touch of brakes, just like on the other cars. You can see just a touch of brakes here. To move the weight of the car in the way we want to, prepare the car to make this very tight left-hander. And then the rule is the same. You can aim for the two cones here. Maybe here I was a little bit too aggressive, I got away with it, but the goal is still to aim for these two cones and for the outside cones. The track limits, of course, are still the same. You still want to aim for these cones. You do not want to go over the cones completely, otherwise they will get stuck underneath the car. And you can take as a limit the white line. So if you do not go over the white line, ideally all the cones, you will not get any slowdowns or any off tracks. And this is then important to stay on the right side as most as you can to prepare the last corner in the best way possible. The rule is the same. You aim in between the cone and the curb. And again, just like the GR86, the car will get upset a bit by the curbs, but if you take it properly, if you round your corner just a bit around, you know, the cone, and so if the smooth you can be around this corner, the better will be for the exit, because if we like take too much, if we go too much on a straight line, so we attack too early, you can see that compared to the other two cars, here I cannot basically clip again the curb because there is like the car doesn't rotate as much. I'm also way faster compared to the other two cars. But if you were to take it straighter than this, you will most likely end up in the oval, and you don't want that. If you can see also here, I'm taking, like I'm going on the oval just a bit, but I can assure you that if you take this way tighter, so if you go more closer to the cone, and you don't do this like a little bit of a round way of doing the corner, you will end up straight in the oval, and you don't want that because the car will be a lot upset. So again, at speed, preparation on the right, touch of brakes, hit the two cones, aim for the white line, stay on the right as much as you can, in between like the fourth and the third cone to the end, turn in, touch on the curb, and then you let it go. You don't want at this point to try to make the corner even tighter. You will just get understeer at this point. So just gently, release steering angle, just straighten the wheel gently, go on the oval, and then you can stay on, below the apron to complete the lap. And this is a lap with the M2 CS. Okay, so that was it for week 10 PCC. I hope you enjoyed this lap guide. Also for reference, the lap times for the Mazda MX-5 was a 151.674 and the GR86 151.572. The M2 CS was a 142.774. You can add on to the YouTube channel of Coach Dave Hot Laps for the hot laps, where you can see also the condition in which this lap was achieved for all three cars. And also you can leave any below the video if you have any questions. And you can also, of course, meet us on the Coach Dave discourse. So I hope to see you there. If you have any questions, just feel free to drop them in the video comments or in the Discord, and I will be seeing you next time. Ciao, ciao.